Why does Daniel Caesar's music feel so soulful and authentic? Today I'm going to show you how to recreate that exact vibe right from your bedroom studio, and it's going to sound like this. Daniel Caesar's style seems simple, but it's the tiny choices most artists miss. Hey, I'm Alex. I'm a music producer and I've worked with artists and brands like this. And after studying his new album Sound of Spurgey, I broke his sound into a few simple ingredients you can steal and make your own. The first crucial ingredient we can't miss is the guitar, because most of Daniel Caesar's newer songs actually started with it, and his guitars have something special. Here are the key things I noticed. First, you want the guitar to feel intimate, almost like it's being played right next to you. And second, you need that slightly lo-fi, imperfect texture he's known for. To get that, I kept the guitar mono, recorded with just one mic for the verses. And I used the nylon string guitar player with the thumb for that soft, warm attack. And of course, you need 7th chord to lock in his R&B feel. Here's the progression I used. He kind of has that like lo-fi, very like dusty sound almost to that album. So I think the nylon string would work pretty well for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and record it. So I'm putting the mic about on the 12th fret and I'm orienting it towards the sound hole a little bit, and I'm gonna play with the thumb. Same idea, it's like softer and more intimate. Alright, I have 2 take. I think that should do it. I might keep it in mono though, instead of like what I would normally do is take the 2 take and hard pan it, but I think I'm just gonna use 1 take and make it in mono because that's gonna sound a little more like vintage, old school, probably a little more intimate too. And maybe down the line, like throughout the song, then we'll open it and have like 2 hard pan take or something like that. There's something else I noticed across the entire album, and it's crucial for nailing his aesthetic. Daniel Caesar builds a sonic world by layering textures around his instrument. He often takes organic sounds and transforms them into almost electronic atmospheric textures through unique processing. And the organic instrument he uses in almost every song, strings. So I noticed in the album there's a lot of parts where it's like kind of very imperfect and you hear like background noise and stuff. So I think I'm just gonna like put like a few like ambience loops, and then I'll start adding like some little pads and textures, like a mixture of like sound design and organic stuff. So let's start with the room tones and stuff. I mean, I could probably like record my room to have a room tone, but that sounds good. So let's just go with that. I'll just put it in there. And also found this one, like some kind of like Rain Street. So I don't want it to be like too on the nose, so I'm gonna kind of like tug that in the back just for a little bit of texture, but I won't do it too much. Alright, let's see the rain if it's not too cliche. Just a little bit like that. I think that's cool. Let's see with the guitar. Alright, yeah, this is working. Okay, so I'm gonna start with some strings. So I'm gonna use augmented string. Let's record that. Let's duplicate the track, put that first one an octave. But I don't want it to be too loud. I'm gonna kind of like blend them together subtly. Okay, now I kind of want to make the texture sound a little more interesting, a little more vintage in a way. I'll add RC20 again. I just put too much RC20. Okay, now let's see maybe some kind of like granulator type of thing to make it very like textural. That's cool. That gives a little bit of texture. I'm gonna kind of wash it out in reverb a little bit though. This is really nice. I think that's a cool first layer. So now I'm gonna record some electric guitar, just some kind of like ear candy almost, just on top in the higher register of the guitar. And I'm probably gonna try to add some cool processing after to kind of turn these guitars into like pads or something like that. So let's record them. Okay, so I recorded the guitars. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate them and reverse them into each other. Okay, so duplicate that. I'm gonna freeze and flatten it. Boom. And now I'm gonna chop it at every transient and reverse it with a nice little fade. So let's see both of them together. Let's put that together. Okay, so now I'm gonna add a little piano texture on the top, something super simple, very sparse, just to add a little more texture and feel like kind of intimate. I'm not gonna make a complicated part because I don't want to take up much space. Gotta be careful not to muddy the mix too much with all this reverb. I can clean it up later, worst case. Yes, I think I want to use crystallizer to make it more of like something textural than an actual piano. I think that could be cool. Let's see. I like that one, that's pretty cool. Now comes the percussion and bass, the foundation of the song. So we need to get this part right. Here's what I noticed. Daniel Caesar almost always uses live percussion or live drums. So for the verses, I'm sticking to a simple shaker and tambourine to keep it organic. And he almost always uses live bass, usually electric, but a double bass also works beautifully for that deep emotional anchor. So I'm going to try both and see which one fits the vibe best. Okay, now that we have the drums, I'm gonna do the bass. And so for the electric bass, I'm gonna go with a line super simple, kind of more or less following the kick pattern. I'm going for like a warm and round sound. Let's try to record something, see what happens. Now, I think I'm feeling the string bass, something more legato, more like a pad in the back instead of an actual bass. I think I'm gonna go with like maybe chamber strings to just have one bass. That will make it a little more intimate. Yeah, some very deep sound. All right, so we start with the G, then we go to a B, then go to E, then an A. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, now what I'm gonna do to make it sound a little more realistic, I'm gonna use the mud wheel and just draw some curves, like to imitate the bow movement, something like that. Yeah, that sounds a little more realistic already. And it's the bass, it's not the most important, but it's super important to do that with strings. We finally reached the single most important ingredient for getting that Daniel Caesar sound, the vocal pads. Almost every one of his songs is built on these beautiful gospel-inspired pads and harmonies. They're the glue that hold his whole aesthetic together. And since I'm not a singer, I'm bringing a special guest to help with this part. So this is Sierra. She's gonna help us record some vocal harmonies.
Yeah, I am.
Alright, can you try doing like oohs and ahs just to get a sense of what sounds the best? I think I like oohs.
Okay.
What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's record. You ready?
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to get the whole octave, but I'll try.
All right. Are you gonna do low octave too or no?
No, I can't reach the low, but you can.
Ooh. This one will definitely need to be tuned. Ooh. All right. That was fire. So we couldn't record all the harmonies today because she had to run. So we're gonna finish it another day. But I started processing them because we have enough to like get a vibe. And so let me show you real quick. Now that we have all the main ingredients, we need to shape a simple yet powerful arrangement that supports the emotion of the song. I think I'm just gonna start with like just the guitar by itself. And like that's where like it would be just guitar and vocal, like classic Daniel Caesar thing. So yeah, you would start like that. So maybe bring that piano. Maybe a little bit of strings. Maybe the guitar after. Maybe having the double bass at the same time. So it starts building a little bit the low end. So I don't want to have the full choir coming in because I want that to keep that for the chorus maybe. Maybe like a smaller version of it. Let's see how that sounds. Maybe like a sus cymbal, like as a riser, that's like an orchestral kind of cymbal rise. Something a little more organic than a classic riser. But I want it subtle, I like pretty tucked in the back. Like super subtle. Maybe I could just have like everything kind of leave on the last two chords. So it kind of becomes stripped down again. Let's see, it might be weird, but could be cool. Okay, I don't like the drums. I think I might go with that drum, to be honest. I think that's a nice little like sketch of an arrangement. There's a nice little evolution, it's subtle, but I definitely need to build up the layers a little more. Now that we have the main shape of the song, we need to add a few subtle but incredibly important ingredients to bring everything to life and make the chorus really stand out. So first I'm adding another electric guitar drenched in reverb and tremolo, hard pan to create depth and thickness. Alright, this is vibey. Let's see in context. Then I decided to double track the classical guitar and hard pan it in the chorus to make the whole section feels wider. This instantly makes the chorus feel huge compared to the more intimate verse. I also doubled the double bass with the cello an octave up to thicken the low end, and I added a subtle filtered kick and a reverby rim shot to anchor the groove. Check this out. This is it. I think the song is ready for final playthrough. And if you're an artist and you're trying to make music like this with me, hit the link in the description. It'll take you to my website where you can hear some of my work and fill out a quick form to see if we'd be a good fit to work together. And if you want to level up your production faster and get my direct feedback, check out my one-on-one mentorship through the second link. Alright, here's the final track. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.